Hey, I wanted to take a quick second to talk to you about three things that are going on in the landscape right now. And those are the winter weeds, winter cutbacks, and winter irrigation. Okay, so those three things. Okay, so winter weeds. We've had a very warm winter to date. And so we're seeing a ton of weeds pop up in yards. If you are seeing that, that is a little bit early, a little bit abnormal for this time of year. Usually we'd start to see that in February, and I'm sure we're going to see it like crazy in February, late February. But if you're seeing it right now, it is a great time to treat those, and you want to get in front of treating those because you don't want those to be coming in really strong into the spring. There's just an opportunity to get in front of that problem. Two, winter cutbacks. Typically by now we would have at least one hard freeze, and it looks like maybe we've got one coming up this weekend. It probably looks like we're having one come up this weekend. We have held off on doing winter cutbacks to date. And the reason for that is because the stuff isn't dead and crispy yet, and we're getting growth. And this is a good time for the sun to, well, I guess the plants to use the sun and the nutrients to develop their roots, and that's happening. And so we didn't want to didn't want to stop your plants from doing these things. So after this weekend, we could do winter cutbacks right now, but after this weekend, what it looks like is we're going to get a whole bunch of crispy perennials, and you're going to look like all your plants, not all of them, a lot of your plants died. A lot of them didn't die in this process. That's actually a good and natural and normal thing to happen to your perennials. Perennial being defined by plants that come back year after year, as opposed to annuals, which are the plants that die and you have to replace each year. Those are like the pretty flowers at the front of your HOA. Perennials are like lantanas and salvias and those decorative grasses and stuff like that. When it does crisp up, it is important, really important, whether you do it yourself or you have us do it, to cut those back. Otherwise, you end up with a whole bunch of mess, the non-technical term. I don't know what the technical term would be now that I think about it, but it's the basically all the dead foliage and branches, and some of that will become really woody, and you'll get some growth off of that, but it'll look prettier and better if it's cut back pretty significantly. Each plant's a little bit different, level of maturity a little bit different on how far you cut that back. We do that all the time. And so we will start doing those. If you haven't done that or you want help doing that, we will start doing those after this week. And so we wanted to offer that. The third thing, winter irrigation. If you haven't put some thought into winterizing your home, I recommend doing it as soon as possible. This is things like, for irrigation, this is things like your backflow preventer. If you don't know what that is, that's the little thing that prevents the water from going into your irrigation system and then coming back into the public water supply. This is the most important piece of your irrigation system from a public safety perspective. And in some cases, those things are above ground and they will break in a freeze, and they're expensive. So we want to prevent that. If you have that above ground specifically, please insulate it in whatever way possible. What you don't want to do is wrap it with a bunch of tape, because what they do is they let the water out if they are triggered, if there's back pull on it. Instead of pulling it into the water system, it drops the water. And so if you wrap it up, you're actually preventing it from doing its function. So you have to insulate it in such a way that it can still do its job whilst not freezing. That's also things like exposed pipes. If you've got things that are like, we had a pump shack on our property that the pipe from the pump, this isn't irrigation, but it showed like things to think about, would come through. I've had this little mouth right over my face the whole time. I'm sorry. It was exposed, and it would broke when it would freeze, and that would break off water to our office. So we had to cover that up with dirt, rock, mulch, whatever it ends up being, to help insulate it. So you need to look for exposed pipes in your yard. It's often wise in deep freezes. I don't know how deep this one will get, but in deep freezes, to protect your spigots, because those can freeze as well. There's all sorts of things around your house that you should be thinking about, and we just want to help you get ahead of that problem. If you want to do irrigation, we would love to do your irrigation winterization for you. It's something we are doing a lot of right now, and we're really good at it. So we would love the opportunity. So again, winter weeds, think about treating them right now if you can, because you want to prevent the problem in the future. It's easier to get a hold of it now. 2, winter cutbacks coming right around the corner. Your plant's probably not actually dead. You should cut it back. 3, winter irrigation winterization. Winterize your house, winterize your irrigation system so that you prevent problems from occurring in the future. One thing I should have mentioned is if you don't have a rain and freeze prevention thingy, that's a technical term, on your irrigation, what those will do is they'll shut off your irrigation at 37 degrees so you don't end up spraying water all over your sidewalk and like slipping and falling or spraying water all over your plants and killing them. You still want to water through the winter, but you don't want to be spraying it all the night before you're about to get a freeze. So I've gone on too long. I hope this is helpful. Let us know if we can help you. Cheers.